Hi, my name's Ed and I'm one of the consultants at Balloon One. Today I'm going to provide a quick overview of the SAP Business One and HighJump Warehouse Edge integration. I will also give a quick demonstration of some of the key functions and features relevant to a warehouse environment. First of all, let's define these two systems. SAP Business One. SAP Business One is an enterprise resource planning system, or ERP. HighJump Warehouse Edge. HighJump Warehouse Edge is a warehouse management system, or WMS. Now let's look at the key functions. So SAP is an ERP system, which means it handles a wide variety of business functions. In a warehouse scenario, the main functions used are purchasing, the purchasing of stock for the warehouse; inventory, the management of stock levels in the warehouse; materials resource planning, the planning of what stock to order in the future; sales, the processing of customer orders and the allocation of stock; financials, the record and administration of the financial transactions involved within the operation; and banking, the management of payments for credits and debits for the operation. So SAP Business One handles the customer and supplier facing element of the operation and controls the overall stock levels. Next, let's look at the HighJump. Being a warehouse management system, the basic functions surround the control and tracking of stock within a warehouse environment. So the main functions are receipt, receiving of stock into the warehouse and put away into storage; storage, the storage of stock and maintenance of stock levels through the use of cycle counting; replenishment, the replenishment of stock to picking locations from storage locations; picking, the preparation of customer orders; and shipping, shipping the items through a carrier or through other means. In our integration, these two systems continuously communicate. By bringing the two together, provides all users complete visibility and live update, helping to keep everyone on the same page. So for example, your buyers can view the upcoming order requirements from customer services, as well as the current stock in the warehouse. This helps them to purchase the right amount of stock at the right time. Customer services can then view inbound shipments, as well as the availability of items in the warehouse when they place orders, which helps them to give accurate delivery times to customers. Finally, the warehouse can plan their labour requirements with visibility of inbound receipts and outbound orders, whilst at the same time updating all other departments on the progress of the stock through the warehouse. So what are the industry challenges that can be tackled with the use of these two software packages? Visibility and transparency. Many companies have difficulty with the visibility of stock in the warehouse and the progress of orders through it. Whilst the ERP system and WMS system are separate, they continually communicate, allowing your customer services team to remain aware of the situation in the warehouse via the ERP without the use of another system. Stock accuracy. One of the main benefits of a WMS is the ability to receive, locate, pick and track stock with a full audit trail, all via the use of a scanner. This minimises the opportunity for user error, as all processes are system driven, and it also reduces the likelihood of stock inaccuracies, as all events are recorded and monitored. HighJump can provide full barcoding right from the individual item up, so every movement can be tracked if required, increasing accuracy. Falling lead times. Through system-driven processes, warehouse tasks can be adjusted for maximum efficiency, whilst minimising the amount of paperwork required. The system is highly customizable, allowing processes to be tailored to your specific needs, meaning that whilst increasing efficiency, your requirements are still met. In addition, there are many other features within HighJump that can be brought to your operation to further improve efficiency. For example, wave picking, cartonization, and directed put away. Staff costs. By driving efficiency, you can also reduce your staff costs. HighJump provides the tools to observe this increase in performance accurately and to pinpoint further areas of improvement. Because the system is so easy to use, the amount of time taken to train new staff is reduced. They are not relying on gaining knowledge, they are relying on a system instruction. So for example, if you are having to regularly bring in agency staff, we often see the training time reduced significantly, allowing them to start contributing faster. Finally, traceability. For some of our customers, for example those in the food, pharmaceutical or medical devices markets, batch tracking and expiry dates are incredibly important, both to ensure compliance but to also prevent wastage. There are various options surrounding the management and allocation of stock within HighJump. For example, first in, first out, batch, and serial number, all ensuring your customers get the correct product at the right time. So now we understand what these systems are for and why they're used. Let's see what they look like. Welcome to my desktop. On this screen I've opened SAP Business One, HighJump Warehouse Edge, although this is an older version called the Accellos one, and a handheld view of the scanner. So this is what will be seen by the operatives in the warehouse. Normally these systems would be operating on separate devices, so you'd have a view of the SAP Business One system in the customer services, or on perhaps a buyer's view. You would have the warehouse manager or supervisor looking at this screen for the warehouse management system, and this is obviously the operative's view of the handheld. So for each of these we have password protection, which enables the system to track the actions of the user and restricts the options that are available to them dependent on the level of permissions the user has. First of all, we're going to have a look at SAP. Looking at the main menu, we can see many options, but for this overview we're going to be looking at the purchasing and sales tabs. Let's start by ordering some stock. So we navigate to purchase order, which brings up our screen which allows us to put the information in. Now, in this scenario, we're working for a biscuit company, so we're going to be ordering some biscuits in to our warehouse. So first of all, I'm going to enter our supplier detail. Who's supplying our biscuits? Chinese Bourbons. And next we're going to be entering which items we require from them. So I'm going to order some cookies. We enter the quantity manually here. However, if there are outstanding orders that are waiting for stock to come in, then this stock number will update to provide the relevant amount of quantity to fulfill those orders. And then you can update and add extra on top as required. So in this instance, I'm just going to order 20 of these. As we can see, the total sums up the amount required. And we check the delivery date and we're now ready to place the order. Next, I'm going to place our sales order, so to send the items out to a customer. So it's a similar process. So we select our customer, Dave's Shop, and enter the item number, enter the quantity required, and update the delivery date. Now, at the moment, there's no stock in the warehouse for this item, but we're still able to place the order. If we return to our purchase order, we can see that the warehouse state has changed now to not received. As the two systems, the WMS and ERP systems, have synced, the warehouse state updates. If we return to our sales order, we can see that the item is held short. So it's awaiting picking, but because the item is not in the warehouse yet, they're unable to pick it. Now we'll move over to the warehouse management system. Before we start processing these orders, I'm going to explain these two tabs up here. Remember, the main functions of a WMS system are to receive items, pick and ship orders. So we have a special tab for each one of those elements. First of all, let's have a look at receipts. In this screen, we can see the number of orders that are due to come in, the number of lines on those orders, the number of units, and a labour estimate based upon how long it takes for your staff to process each line or order. All these functions are entirely customisable. We also have a summary by date running along the top, which gives us an idea of what's coming in on each day. We also have various pivots that allow us to manipulate this table to show the information required. So perhaps we want to see what suppliers are sending the stock in, so we can do that. Again, this is entirely customisable. Next, we'll have a look at the orders screen. It's a very similar table on this screen. Dates running along the top, labour estimate. There's more information surrounding the weight and the value of the units. And we also have an overall summary of what items' status are at the bottom. So we've got the items held short, which is the order we've just placed, and the items that are ready to waive. If we click on the held short item, this is the item we just placed in SAP. 531. Now we'll use the handheld to receive the item in. In HighJump, it's possible to allocate a receipt to a specific user, but often the case is that most of the receiving staff will receive products as they come in, regardless of who they are. Receiving is a very simple process. Click on Receiving, Regular Receiving. It's important to note that there's many options on the previous screen, but this is because this is a supervisor's login, and so he has all of the options available to him. Obviously, we can restrict this to show only the items that are required for each user, if required. Now that we're on the receiving screen, we can see an overview of what orders are waiting to come in. We'll check the purchase order number for the item that we're expecting. 586, and select this from the list. This gives us a small summary of what we're expecting. So one line, 20 units. Let's start receiving. Enter product number. If your items were barcoded, then you'll be able to scan the item, which will return this number. As we're on a system that doesn't have a barcode scanner connected up, and there's no physical boxes because we're just demonstrating, I'll select the product from the list. It's now asking me how many items are in each pack. I'm just going to say 1 for this example, and 20 packs, which gives us a quantity of 20. It's now asking me for the number of case labels provided. Obviously, if I wanted to barcode these labels, I could now do that. In this instance, I'm not going to print any labels. It's now asking me for a bin to pick to. So in some setups, we could have used the directed put away function, which would allocate the next available bin that's suitable for this product based on your requirements. But in this scenario, I'm just going to enter a bin that I know should be empty. And the product's been received. Now, returning to our manager screen, we should see this update. See that that's been received now. And if we return to SAP and look at our purchase order, we can see that the item's been received. If we drill into the item itself and look at the stock data, we can see the amount available in the warehouse has increased. Returning to our warehouse management screen, if we look at the orders, we can now see that the held short order has now updated and is ready to waive. Again, on the sales screen, in the sales order, we should see the warehouse status has been updated to ready to waive. So this demonstrates the complete visibility at all times. Now that the item is ready to waive, we'll waive this out to a user. This is the order. So by right-clicking on the order and clicking Waive, this makes it available for a picker to pick. We can now see the status has been waived. However, it's important to note that you don't have to waive one item at a time. You can waive multiple items depending on your requirements. Returning to the handheld, we go into the picking option, regular picking, select all zones. When the item is being waived, a label may be printed out or a pick slip or anything like that with a barcode on it. This provides the picker a label that he can apply to the box that he's picking into. So as he collects the items, he scans it into the box. This is used as a reference for the handheld, so when it's ordered to start picking. Again, it gives us a little summary of what we're going to pick, and then we can start picking the order. So it's instructing our picker to move to bin A10T1, which is where we put the product earlier, and it's asking to confirm the product. Remember, if this was barcoded, this product, we just scan the barcode, but in this instance I'm just going to enter the reference of the product. It's now asking me to scan the carton to confirm that I'm putting it into that item and confirm the quantity that we're putting in. We can set this up so that you scan each item, but most companies prefer us to just confirm the quantity. And that's the item picked to the box. Returning to the WMS system, we should now see the items in rating, which means it's been picked and is waiting to be shipped. And again, in the sales order part, we can see that the warehouse state is in rating. So the final remaining stage of this process is to ship the order. This is done through shipping and record shipment into the carton number, one carton, and to ship by you could put in UPS or DHL, whatever's required, shipment costs, shipment weight, whatever's required, and that's done. So now when we go back to the WMS system, we should see again, clicked on that one there, shipped and uploaded. And again, in our warehouse, we can see in history. Now it's important to mention that multiple orders can be shipped at the same time. That was a very simple setup for a shipment there. So they can be integrated with your shipper interface, meaning you don't have to key in the information multiple times, and the systems can talk to each other without any extra input, which can further reduce the amount of time spent on the shipping process. So that's a quick overview of receipt, picking and packing procedures. We'll now take a quick look at some of the reporting tools that the manager might use to monitor the performance of his staff and keep up to date with the remaining work throughout the day. Navigating to reports and selecting performance. we can see the wide variety of reports available to us. We can have a look at activity reports. This gives a summary by warehouse activity on the selected date. So we've got picking, receipt, cycle counting, shipment, replenishment, movements, all sorts. So we can select picking, and we can look at yesterday. What we can see here is a breakdown by hour of the amount of picks completed by the user. Obviously, as I'm just the only user on here, and I'm only picking test orders, you can see there's not a huge amount. But you'd have a long list of IDs depending on the number of people you have working in your warehouse, along with the amounts they've picked and what times. This is useful to see whether staff are slowing down towards the afternoon or whether there's specific peaks and troughs within the day, so you can plan your workflow better. The next one we're going to have a look at is employee performance. So we'll close that one down and select employee performance. And this gives us a summary by handheld user of what they did that day. So I'm selecting my own handheld there, and I'm going to select today. So we can see the number of units picked, number of units received, total amount of time spent on it, and performance. And again, this allows us to monitor what the user's doing and see what their performance levels are like. The final one we can have a look at is the activity monitor. Again, we'll look at today's. So we can see by the warehouse task and the time what actions have been completed. So this report is particularly useful for understanding the flow of work through the warehouse and what labour requirements are needed at certain times during the day. So hopefully that's given you an understanding of the performance tools that are available in the WMS system. There's also plenty available in the ERP system as well. We've really only scratched the surface of what's available. At Balloon One, we're also able to write various reports as required, so making it completely tailored to your operation. Hopefully this has given you a brief overview of the SAP Business One and HighJump Warehouse Edge integration. These are hugely capable and customizable pieces of software that have been proven to improve productivity and efficiency in the workplace. At Balloon One, we have a vast amount of experience with these systems, and we are the biggest reseller in the UK of HighJump Warehouse Edge with over 55 active installations in place. If you'd like more information, please contact info@balloon1.com or phone 020 881 99071. Thank you.